Hi YouTube, it's me, Bryn Chan. Mwah. I'm coming back with another full video. I know the last full video I did, it was a live, my very first live, matter of fact, on YouTube. And I think I had one viewer, but that is okay while it was live. I mean, clearly people have seen it since then. But but I wanted to come back on here. It's the beginning of the month. I'm shaking the table, so now the camera's shaking. But I wanted to come back on here at the beginning of the month to kind of just start out stronger than I did last year and bring somebody on here who is actually doing what it is that I do, that I've been telling you guys about for almost a whole year now. You guys are kind of late to the party, but that's okay. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to Miss Heather. And how do you say your last name again?
Halverson.
Halverson. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I couldn't remember that. I'm so sorry.
That's quite all right. It's funny, now you're saying it, and I maybe shouldn't be saying this on your live. When I was a girl, I wanted to shorten my last name because my last name was Schellenberg, and I'm like, I want it shortened. And so I got it 3 letters shortened. So be careful what you wish for. Anyway, sorry. I'm Heather Halverson.
Hey, it's a pretty name. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
My last name, it didn't get shortened and it didn't get longer.
Nice.
It just stayed the same amount of letters. I went from Adams to Chan. So, wait, hold on. Let me count. ADAMSCHAN. It went down 1 letter. Okay, I lied.
Nice.
We went down 1 letter. But I think, yeah. Bryn Chan sounded funny when I first started messing with the name. I'm sure it sounded kind of funny for you when you first started putting your name with your new last name in the beginning, but before you guys were married.
I suppose, yeah. But for me, it was more like, how am I going to do it in cursive writing? That was to me more of a big deal than putting it together.
I remember when I was trying to figure out how I was going to do my new signature. It was like, I don't know how to do this. And now I can't go back to my old last name, though I've made a mistake of, writing Bryn Adams instead of, I even said on the phone once. I did. I was like, wow, that hasn't happened. But, no, I just kind of want to bring you on here and give you a little bit of an interview. So, Heather, tell me, who exactly is Heather?
That's a good question, Bryn. I like that. Oftentimes, I've learned is you think, I am Heather. That's who I am. Or I am a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. But who am I? That is a very good question. So that is a good question. But how do you say, who am I? I love life. I'm a child of God, and I just choose to live every day and help women all over the world. But my first desire was to be a mom, and then from there,
just keep going and I'll figure it out.
Here goes a call. Anyway, so that's a little bit about me. Is just I am.
I don't know my phone. Just keep going. It's still recording?
Yes, it's still recording. Bryn is trying to figure things out, so we're not sure.
Oh, I think they stopped calling.
Okay, there you go.
No, I don't know where my phone is. I might just have to find my phone. Later, it's fine. I'll do the find my phone thing. Unless I left it in the Uber.
No, I'm sure you've had it in here.
Yeah, I thought I had it on here somewhere, but
it's not in your purse.
I didn't see it in my purse. Just keep it small.
Okay. So I have been married. What? She found her phone. Yay! So I have been married for almost 30 years. I have 4 children, aging from 18 to 26. I'm a grandma, and the young gentleman I met today, and I told him I'm 50 at the end of the year. He said, "No way, you do not look like you're that age. I look much younger." And I'm like, "Thank you." Like when you're in the atmosphere of youthfulness, lifestyle, you feel so much younger.
Yeah.
Did that kind of help you out with who I am?
I'm sure it helped other people as well. Kind of get an idea. So when I ask that question to other people, and I ask, who is Gabriel? Who is Samantha? Who is... Then now you kind of have an idea of, what I'm asking, and now what to think about for yourself. Because I remember, when I first asked you this question the other day, and you had no idea what to say.
True enough.
So.
Growth!
But I know we discussed that on here, that you are also part of this business alongside me. You've actually been in here longer than me.
Yeah, I have been.
So, what made you join the business?
I was brought in from the community. Like, when I was brought into a cult, I just fell in love with the teachings that were shared, but the community, the energy that was there is just like you almost instantly felt like you were part of the group, and you could be who you are, not pretend to be someone else. And that's what's kind of kept me here, is just the fact of the people.
So what is your ultimate goal with why you're doing this? Because everyone has different goals of why they want to be successful and have money. But what is like your deepest desired goal that you have, that maybe, when people are looking at this at surface level and they're like, oh, it's just about the money. What is it to you that makes it why you're here?
That's a good question, Bryn. The fact for me is I'm not in the business for money, but I do want to help others to make the money. But ultimately, my big goal is to actually help end human trafficking, because it is a problem no matter where you are. Like, it could be next door, across the street. You just don't know, but people shouldn't be slaves to someone else out of their... It should be free will, and you're stuck in something you're not.
So, and feel free to answer this if you want to. You don't have to, because I know it's pretty personal, but why exactly is that your goal?
As a child, my adopted brother, it started kind of as a verbal abuse, I guess. Like, he just took advantage of me all the time, and then it turned into sexual. And for that, I couldn't tell my parents because of many different reasons. Like, he said they would never believe that could have happened, or if I did tell them, he would just go on and tell a bunch of more lies, and I didn't want my parents to have to deal with that. So I just took in what he was telling me and doing to me as this is the way it is. So I'm glad it's not that way anymore.
It's an incredible story, and that's why people join the business, not just for money. Yeah, maybe it's money in the beginning, but then you really start to think about what it is that you really want, and things that have happened in our lives and that have affected us very deeply. In a case such as yours, it really brings to the surface what it is that you want to do in this life. Because, I mean, I grew up, and we already have discussed a few times, I believe, on the channel, what it is that I've gone through in with sexual abuse and rape and drugs and just a poor home and living in that area. And if I haven't talked about it in a video before, I will definitely make a whole video on it, because it's a very big part of the story that's no longer my story anymore.
Exactly.
Right. So, I mean, but that story can help other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a big reason why I do what it is that I do. And that's a big reason why Heather does what she does. And I know we've discussed, I had 3 deaths last year.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
4 if you count my old coworker. She passed away in the beginning of last year. But I mean, I had my best friend pass away in August. My grandfather passed away in October, and then my biological father passed away in November.
Wow.
So I'm sure when I called Vasil a few times, he probably just didn't believe me at some point, because that was a lot of death in such a short amount of time. But that's another reason what I do, because my best friend, she was a single mom of a 5-year-old kid.
Oh no, poor child.
She survived 12 days after her 28th birthday. So for my birthday, I will be 28 this month. And so it really just adds another layer of, behind my 28th birthday. I didn't think my 28th birthday would be so meaningful, I guess, as it is now. Because she's no longer going to turn 29 before me, or 30 before me, or 31 before me. It's not gonna be like that, and she's not gonna see her son graduate from high school, at least physically. She's not gonna be there while her son graduates high school or gets his first girlfriend, or just hit all of those new grade levels. She's not going to be there for his wedding day. And those are all the things that she wanted to see. And I talked to her about the business as well. And I don't think you know this, but I talked to her about the business when I first started. And I talked to her throughout me being in the business up until August 30th. And she always said, I really want to do it, but I need to wait. I have time. I can save money. I want to do all this stuff, because she wanted to have more time with her son, and that's the entire reason why I brought it up to her to begin with. And then just one day, she took a selfie, and she said, today is going to be a good day. And then at 10:30 or 10:45, relatively in that time frame, August 30th, she passed away in a car accident.
Oh no.
She was texting and driving.
Oh no.
And she got hit by a truck. She swerved into the other lane, and not like a semi truck, just like one of those like Ford F-150s or Chevys or those kind of trucks. And she tried to correct herself and get into the other lane, but her little minivan couldn't, withstand that. So she died on impact.
Wow.
And her 5-year-old son was in the car. He survived. He had 2 broken legs and a broken arm.
Wow.
And now he lives with his dad. And so that brings a whole other layer of why I want to do this. So yes, I want to open global charities and stuff like that, but also for parents, single parents at that, but parents just the same. So, I mean, so what has it been like for you since you started this business? Because I know that, you know, a lot of people are maybe thinking of it, but then they let everyone else talk them out of it because they don't have the same mindset and they're not supportive. Just things of that nature. What have you experienced?
For me, when I got into it, I've been a stay-at-home mom for 26 years, and I've loved every minute of being a mom to my children. But I knew with them all about to leave home, I needed to do something more in my life. So when you really feel what God's purpose is for you, you kind of, it falls into your lap that you kind of know who you want to help and make a difference in their lives. Because I mean, there's so many people that we do need to help in the world in many different ways. So that's what's kept me here, and why I want to be here is just I know that wealth is possible. It's a very rich environment, and the people are very supportive and encouraging. So does that answer your question?
So is the environment supportive, or is like your family? How is your family supportive of this? Because I know that we've talked a few times, and they want you to succeed, but at the same time they are kind of annoyed at this whole thing.
Very true. It's not easy because it's me doing something different. And I think that's been the key, is the fact that they see that I'm changing, because my mindset is I'm becoming a better person, and they're behind and they're jealous, like, what's going on and can I keep up with you? So I think all in all, even though at times it feels hard, it's actually been a good thing, because they're slowly starting to change as well and catch up with me.
So they're a little bit more supportive now than maybe when you first started?
Absolutely, yes.
So how was it when you first started? What was it like? What was your difficulties when you first started with your family and friends and stuff like that?
I think there was so much going on in my mind that I wasn't sharing anything with anybody. I was so immersed in trying to find out who I am, because I was a mom for 26 years, which was great, but I really didn't know who I was. Yeah, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, whatever, right? But at the same time, I needed to discover who I am.
And that kind of goes back to the first question I asked you, is, who is Heather?
Exactly.
And you just explained that you didn't know when you first started.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I feel like a lot of people are still finding themselves when they join, and then they really get into the environment that we have, and then they slowly start to learn who they are. I know for me personally, I love to joke around with people, and you've seen that. We just did a live together on one of our groups, and I mean you got the whole thing. you got a taste of what it is that I like to do sometimes, but and I don't mean it in like a mean way or anything. And
no,
of
it's
course,
all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, and of course, I'm sure you could tell, right? So, I mean, she's joked with me as well. So
Payback. No, just kidding.
She started it this morning. It was what did it start with? Fish It started with fish. We were looking up restaurants.
Oh, for dinner tonight.
Yeah. And so it wasn't this morning, though. It was later today.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's a fish restaurant. And you go, your favorite. Just so you know, I hate fish.
True, yes. And I learned that yesterday. So, we've only really known each other since Friday. And today...
Mm-hmm.
Friday? No, today is Friday.
Wednesday.
Oh, forgive me.
Wednesday. But
Wednesday.
we also started talking last Friday.
True. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. So that's
it
where the
has
Friday
been
comes in.
there. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I knew it was Friday somewhere.
Yeah, today's Friday, but we started talking on the phone like last Friday because we were coming here to DC. And we didn't just travel to DC just to travel to DC. Like, of course, there's sights to see and people to talk to, but we didn't come here for any of that. Matter of fact, we haven't seen any of the monuments or anything that everyone's talking about. Who did we come to see?
Our mentor, Desi. Like, you don't get the chance very often to work one-on-one with a multi-7-figure earner. So it's just like, and it's not that she's earned it once. She does it every month. So it's like, if you can learn from the best, take it.
Exactly. And while we're still on this topic, why did you come to DC to learn from Desi?
Because I knew that I needed to be pushed further than I've ever been pushed before. I don't know if I got that, but I definitely grew as who I am. And yesterday wasn't the best day for me, but I still pushed through it, and I came out stronger today. So through it all, it's been a good time that we've been able to be here and learn from Desi.
Yeah. So with you being here and learning from Desi, how would you edify Desi to somebody who you don't know other than you've had a one-on-one call with them, they've been on a call, and they're getting ready to talk to her?
She's very relatable, and you can feel her genuine desire to help you and to encourage you. Like, at first I wasn't quite sure, because she comes from Bulgaria and I'm from Canada, so like there's just the difference, and that's how people are. But through it all, it's like she is genuinely a great person to be with and learn from. So
that's awesome. Yeah, she's fantastic. Not only, you said she's a multiple 7-figure earner, and she's done it on multiple occasions. Like, not just occasions, she does it all the time.
Yeah.
But
it makes it look easy.
Oh yes, she does.
Cow.
But she's also the top female earner in the entire company, which that's a pretty big feat to accomplish.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
in less than 3 years.
Yeah, she hit diamond in 30 days, which I know people aren't going to understand what diamond is on here, but I mean, just know it's a multiple 7-figure rank. So it's huge in 30 days. Like, not everyone can do that.
Exactly, yeah.
But, I mean, it's possible, it's achievable, but you have to really just buckle down and listen to, what they're telling you. So, now I'm gonna end soon, so don't come at me, please. What is really your goal for the end of February?
End of February, I want to reach Sapphire. So that's helping 25 people in some way, shape, or form. So if your goal is to earn $200 a month, I want to help you with that, or even $2,000. Like, it feels hard, but at the same time, it's so easy.
So, then what is your goal for the end of the year? I know we just went to the end of the month, now we're going to the end of the year.
See, and it's funny that you ask me that, because I kind of had the first 6 months mapped out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I want to become emerald for sure by the end of the year. If I get above that, that's fantastic. But I think for who I am, I just have to do it in not panic. I'm not a panic kind of person, which I know people are. They're go-getters. And don't get me wrong. I love to go, but I desire to make stronger relationships and maintain them, because I don't want to just help someone one time and then brush them off.
Yeah. I mean, you heard Desi tell me that I need to make my first million this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell you the same thing. You've been in here 2 years. You need to make your first million this year. You know?
You're going to help me? Keep me accountable?
We can keep each other
accountable. All right. I like it. I like it.
That way, when we come back to DC, we can just pay for Desi's dinner and her Ubers. And then, we don't have to struggle to try to figure out how we're going to get here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which, everything, when you're first starting out or when you're figuring everything out, can be a struggle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right. So, before we end this off, what are some challenges that maybe you faced but are now learning to overcome?
I think my biggest struggle was I thought I had to work harder. And with that, I was not working smarter. And overthinking is not your best friend. It's more of a hindrance, because in a conversation, I can have an easy conversation with you, but why is it when I'm talking to someone else that I struggle? What am I going to say next? Or what am I going to do next? And it's like, I overthink.
Definitely. Overthinking is really, it keeps you from a lot of things. I know in the Uber rides that we were in together, I noticed a little bit of hesitation on your end. I mean, throwing out hand signals, you might have thought they were gang signs, but I mean...
What's wrong with you? No, it wasn't that feel at all, but yeah, it's like...
But it wasn't that I was like trying to push you to do something. I was trying to give you a little bit of encouragement.
Exactly.
And remind you of what the next step should be.
Exactly. And I've honestly never been in the presence of someone who was talking to other people or whatever. Like you hear on calls or something, oh, do this and do that. But I personally need to actually visually see people doing it. Mm-hmm. Not just from a distance, but I could hear what they were saying. I could see it on their face, how they were reacting, how they really showed they cared. So that's been really big for me, actually.
I noticed when we went to that restaurant, the first restaurant we went to, and Desi told me to get the waiter's number. And then I did, and you were like, how did you do that? So
True.
Yeah, so I totally understand. Like, when I was here last time, she didn't tell me to get numbers like that. She was like, okay, go get the DoorDash guy's number, but Ivana was also there with me, so Ivana took charge.
Ah.
So I didn't really get to ask anyone for their numbers while I was over here the last time. But this time, Desi looked at me and was like, get his number. So it's very much, she put me on the spot. But
in a good way.
Yeah, she also wasn't paying attention, so.
But I think she was. You just don't feel like she was breathing down your neck.
Because she was looking at her phone at the same time.
Exactly. So it kind of takes a little pressure off when you feel they're not breathing down your throat. No, that's not the way. What's the word? Just they're letting you be.
They're not.
But they're to support you at the same time.
They're not judging your every action.
Yeah.
Because I know I got his number, and how I really started to get his number was relating to him about the fact that when I was a waitress, I absolutely hated that job. Like, I really did. And it showed that he could be honest with how he felt about his job.
True.
Because no one truly likes serving unless you're insane. And then, I mean, go for it. But, I mean, I know that I would never want to go back to serving. Not because of, like, people there. Some people were nasty. They were just terrible people. So, yeah. I would never want to go back to doing that.
Yeah.
Especially when they have an expectation of how much food you should be carrying to the table. And if you are a small person who can't carry that much, clearly you're not going to hit that.
You know, speaking of that, you just reminded me of the time I was actually kind of a waitress at a senior's home. And it made a difference how you placed the knife to how they were going to react to you that day. I was like, really? But they felt they deserved me to do that. And so just even the small details are big.
Oh, yeah. I worked not as a waitress in a senior's home, but a CNA in a senior
True,
home.
That's right, yeah.
So definitely the kitchen staff really had a hard time. They had a lot on their tables because I worked on the Alzheimer's unit.
Oh.
And, you know, if you know anything about people's Alzheimer's, some of them can be like, oh, this is really good. Or some of them can be like, I didn't order this, even though they didn't have a choice in their meal option that day. So, it's very fun. I mean, some of them thought they were on a field trip. There was one lady who thought she was on a field trip the entire time, and then she was like, my mom was supposed to be, why aren't you calling my mom? Why are you keeping my mom away from me? That was kind of weird. And then there was another lady who planned a grand escape because she thought, she's being held there against her will. So I ran around pretending to help open the windows for her.
That's funny.
We had fun. I mean,
that's good.
I mean, so the other nurse aides, they would be like, okay, just calm down. No one's coming to pick you up. Nothing like that, And for some cases like that, it's very serious. And, you're like, okay, you have to calm down. You're not, it's fine. You're not at a field trip. But then, then you got me, and you just play along sometimes because it helps them not feel so crazy. You know what I mean? So, like, they would sometimes tell you the same story over and over again because they forget that they told you the same story. Yeah. And so you have to sit there and act like it's your first time ever hearing it. So, and none of the other nurse aides would go around trying to help residents escape.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and the one lady who thought she was on a field trip the whole time would be like, your mom is on her way. Don't worry, she won't forget about you. It's okay. And so, yeah, well, I've kept you on here for a long time. I think we need to go do some more reps. Any last words you'd like to say to people who
just never give up.
Yeah.
Quitters don't succeed, so keep on going. Like you said, one more rep. You never know who that one person is that needs you more than another, so just keep on going.
Yeah. I mean, and what would you say to those maybe thinking about doing what it is that we do, but are still just hesitant?
I think like what Desi says is just give it a try for a year. And if it's not for you after a year, move on, and it's okay. Yeah.
Well, you heard it here from Miss Heather Halverson herself. She is a wonderful lady. I've gotten to spend a few days in DC with her, as you know, she stated before. But it's been amazing. I'm from Kansas. Okay, we all know that I'm from Kansas, and she said she's from Canada. First off, if it wasn't for this, I guarantee you we probably would not have met.
No.
Because we're in two different countries. I mean, they're neighboring countries, but still, I hear Canada is a very beautiful place, but I do not do cold. As you could probably tell, when everyone else is hot and I was over here freezing.
I can tell you where to go in Canada in the months to go, and then you will be happy with me. I promise.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna take your word for it. But before this, I would have never even considered going to Canada, just because of cold.
We don't live in igloos, I promise.
That's only Alaska. No, she has a very nice home. I mean, I didn't see the inside of it, but I've seen pictures of at least the side in the woods.
I love nature, so to be surrounded by it is a blessing. So
it is very beautiful. So, but as you've heard here, don't wait. Just get in, try it. Even if it's not about money, like Heather has said, it's not just about money for her. It's about what she can do to help others.
Mm-hmm.
And you've heard my story several times. And so it's not just about money for myself either. Yes, money is a great thing to come along with it.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, it's not 100% about money.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's ever going to be just about money ever again.
True.
Especially after being here in DC and seeing how Desi is and how kind she can be. She's a completely different person in person than she is on the computer. That's for sure.
True enough, yes.
When she's on Zoom, she can come off a little scary. In person, she's like a big kitty cat. Again, I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, but I mean she is. How cats are like, they want affection when they want affection, but then they don't want anything.
Yeah. She knows her worth and when to go and when to stop. Like
she's exactly like a cat.
Yeah, true.
So, but I'm gonna go ahead and end it off here. I love you guys. Mwah. Remember to
Bye.
Remember to invest in yourselves, because you are the very best person you could ever invest in. Invest in stocks, real estate, gold, silver, all that fun stuff. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.